This video is the first lesson of the EQ7 Summer Drawing Series Sew-Along hosted on our blog. To get started, we're going to open EQ7 and name our project EQ7 Summer Drawing Sew-Along. We're going to save all of our blocks for the sew-along in the same project. So go ahead and click OK. Since this is a block drawing sew-along, we obviously need to be on the block work table, so go ahead and click Work on Block. And I am actually showing that I am on the patch draw work table. I can tell by down here at the bottom, you see Pieced and Applique. I'm going to go to Block, New Block, Easy Draw. This is where we want to be to get started. If you don't see this precision bar at the top here, click View and make sure there's a check next to precision bar. This is going to be a tool we use throughout this sew-along. So make sure there's a check there. So to set up our block, we're going to start with the width and height and just kind of go across the board here. All of the blocks in the sew-along are 12-inch blocks, so I'm going to do 12 and then hit the tab key and it'll take you to the next entry here. So we're going to put 12 here as well. In the snaps horizontal and vertical, change that to 48. And by changing that to 48, we actually get snap points every quarter inch. Since we have a 12-inch block, every quarter inch means 48 snaps for 12 inches. We're going to go ahead and turn our graph paper cells on and change this to 2 and 2. And your snap options should be as shown here. So these first two, have them pressed in. Snap to grid and snap to nodes. The first thing we want to do is draw a line at the 4.5, a vertical line actually, at the 4.5 inch mark. You can see that up here. We're going to draw the second line at 7.5. And your line should snap to that point at the bottom. We're also going to draw two horizontal lines at 4.5 and again at 7.5. Now let's click this grid tool. If you click the little red dot on the grid tool, you'll get this box that pops up. We want our grid to actually show 3 by 3. So if yours doesn't show 3 and 3 there, go ahead and enter 3 by 3 or use these arrow buttons to change it to 3 and 3. And we're going to draw a grid in the upper corner of this block. So just click, hold, and drag, and your grid will snap into that section. Go ahead and do the same thing for the other 3 corners. Go ahead and click Add to Sketchbook. And this not only is going to save your block in your sketchbook, but also it's going to add nodes at every intersection that these lines have created. You can see mine didn't really show anything, so if I just hit the refresh tool, you now can see the different nodes that have been created. Go ahead and get the line tool again, and we're going to draw diagonal lines within these little boxes to create our own little half square triangles. Now go ahead and do the same thing in the other corners. It's just as simple as clicking, holding your mouse button down, dragging, and releasing the mouse when you get to your end point. You know, this one I could stop here and then go to the next one, but instead I just drew one long line. Okay, so we have all of those done. Now we're going to get the pick tool and we're going to delete some of the lines to create larger squares in the 4 corners. So get with your pick tool, select one of the lines in the upper left quadrant and hit your delete key. I'm going to do that for the other 3 lines in this area. And then go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Now one little trick if you wanted to do this, if you hold the delete key down on your keyboard before you click, and now just click, 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 you don't have to press the delete key every time. You're actually clicking instead of pressing the delete key. So again, I'm going to hold the delete key down, click, 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 and those lines are gone. So that is our drawing. So I'm going to add to Sketchbook again. And now we can color our block. Just going to use some of these default colors here. Use the spray can tool if you'd like. I don't like that color. There. I'm going to click Add to Sketchbook again. Now let's view our sketchbook. If you're not familiar with the sketchbook, this is where all of the information for your project is held. And click the Blocks tab, and you can see this is our first block that we saved, and then this is the one that we just colored. So if you click the Note Card button here at the bottom, you can name your block. We're going to name ours EQ7 Summer Drawing Block 1. And down below in the bottom here, if you just tab down or use your mouse to move down to the notes section, you can add any other information about this block to keep you organized. So here I'm going to add 12 inches by 12 inches. Okay, and that's just some extra information about this block if I ever wanted to go back. So now you can click the X button at the top right, and that is going to save that note card information. You can see your name is down here. And close the sketchbook. Now we're ready to print our patterns. If you go up to the print button, you can see the menu. For this lesson, we're going to take a closer look at rotary cutting. So go ahead and click on rotary cutting. Remember in EQ7 you're always going to be working with finished sizes. So we know we want our finished size block to be 12 inches by 12 inches. So I'm going to type in 12 for both of those. My seam allowance I'm going to leave at 1/4 inch, but you can go ahead and change that if you'd like. Now I'm going to click Preview. Take a closer look here. This is showing that we need to cut a strip 2 3/8 wide and then cut 2 3/8 squares from that strip. Cut the squares diagonally to make 2 triangles. You're going to need 20 white triangles and 20 yellow triangles for this block. You can go ahead and press Print, or you can just close it if you just wanted to preview it for now. Once you're done printing your patterns, just click Save, and we will get back to this project in our next lesson.